It began almost unnoticed. A flicker in the data. A point of light shifting where no star should be. At first, it seemed harmless, just another celestial body passing through the watchful eyes of telescopes across the globe. Hawaii, South Africa, Chile, all recorded the anomaly. Then came confirmation from NASA. This wasn't something born of our solar system. It was an intruder, moving too fast, too smooth, and with a trajectory unlike anything bound by the sun's gravity. At a glance, it looked like a rock. But the details unraveled quickly. Its brightness was wrong for its size, its path too precise, its speed exceeding 150,000 miles per hour. When astronomers traced its course backward, it pointed not to the Kuiper belt, not to the Oort cloud, but to the darkness between stars. An interstellar origin, perhaps as distant as the galactic core. For tens of thousands of years it had been traveling through silence, unseen, until now. This would be strange enough as a lone incident. But it isn't alone. Before 2017, we had never detected a single interstellar visitor. Now, in less than a decade, 3 have appeared. And each one is stranger than the last. The first, Oumuamua, was unlike anything astronomers had ever recorded. A cigar-shaped body that tumbled through space without a comet's familiar gas tail, accelerating in ways that didn't make sense. Then came Borisov, a comet that burned hotter and moved faster than any known before it. Now this new arrival, 3I, unofficially named Atlas, combines traits of both. Bright like a reflective metal, cold like stone, yet with a trajectory that seems anything but random. As soon as Atlas was confirmed, the James Webb Space Telescope was directed toward it. Webb, built to peer back into the birth of the universe, was now tasked with examining a mystery unfolding in our own solar system. Its first findings deepened the riddle. The object reflected more light than rock or ice could explain, its surface smooth and unusually bright. Some models suggested it might be hollow. Others hinted at metals, not natural formations. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb, who once proposed that Oumuamua might not be natural at all, urged scientists to check for what he called non-gravitational acceleration, tiny shifts in motion that cannot be explained by the pull of the sun or planets. If Atlas was altering its path intentionally, then it wasn't just passing by. It was navigating. And if it was navigating, the implications were extraordinary. Spectral scans from Webb revealed still more anomalies. Instead of silicates or ice, as one would expect from a comet, the absorption lines suggested complex carbon-based materials. The kind that, on Earth, are associated less with geology and more with design. Its spin, too, appeared strangely stable. Natural bodies tumble chaotically, but Atlas rotated with an almost mechanical rhythm. Some sides reflected heat differently than others, as though engineered for balance. And then came the most unsettling discovery: subtle deviations in its flight path. The object was accelerating, ever so slightly, without any sign of outgassing or cometary jets. No tail. No particles. Nothing that could account for the motion. Just an object slipping from predicted trajectories with unnerving precision. In hushed discussions across NASA, ESA, and other agencies, the question that no one wanted to put in print began to circulate. What if this isn't natural? What if it's not just passing through? For centuries, the night sky has been empty but for the planets and stars. Then, suddenly, interstellar messengers began arriving one after another. If this is coincidence, it is a strange one. But if it's a pattern, then perhaps these objects are not wanderers at all, but signals, messengers, scouts, or probes sent long ago. In the end, the data has left us with more questions than answers. Atlas does not fit neatly into the categories of asteroid or comet. Its composition, its reflective surface, its acceleration, and its timing all strain natural explanations. The James Webb Space Telescope will continue to track it, mapping its spin, its heat, its path. But what humanity may be confronting is a possibility we have long avoided. In a universe 13.8 billion years old, we may not be alone. And the most unsettling thought is not that we have just noticed them. It's that they may have been watching us for far longer than we have been watching the sky. It began as a flicker. A faint spike in the data, small enough to dismiss, but strange enough to watch. Something cold, silent, and moving in a way nothing in our solar system ever had before. At first, telescopes in Hawaii, Chile, and South Africa thought it was another rock. Just one more space traveler. But hours later, the story shifted. Its reflections were too sharp. Its trajectory, too precise. Its speed, far beyond anything a comet or asteroid should carry. And when astronomers traced its path backward, the discovery froze them. It wasn't from the Oort cloud. Not from Neptune's orbit. Not even from the farthest edges of our solar neighborhood. This object had come from the deep between the stars, traveling for thousands of years in the dark, until us. They named it **3I, Atlas, **. But the name was the least unsettling thing about it. Because the last time we saw an interstellar visitor was 2017, when Oumuamua swept past and broke every rule in the book. No comet tail, a bizarre elongated shape, and a mysterious acceleration no one could explain. Then in 2019 came Borisov, faster, wilder, and more comet-like, but still stranger than anything we'd seen before. Now Atlas. And this time, the mystery ran even deeper. When NASA turned the James Webb Space Telescope toward it, the data refused to add up. The object was small, but reflected light as if it were massive. The surface didn't behave like rock or ice. It behaved like metal, cold, bright, and possibly hollow. And then came the whisper that spread through astrophysics. What if it isn't drifting? What if it's navigating? Because the truth is, Atlas wasn't following the sun's gravity alone. Its path bent in ways no comets should. Deviations too sharp to ignore. And Webb confirmed what many feared. The object was accelerating, but not because of outgassing, not because of radiation pressure, not because of anything natural. If something is accelerating without force, it means control. That's when the tone shifted. The public was told less. Mission pages stopped updating. Data sets vanished. FOIA requests came back blacked out. Astronomers were pulled from teams. Access to telescopes was quietly locked. The silence said more than the words ever could. Because if this thing is artificial, then it was built by a civilization older than ours. A civilization capable of constructing something that could drift through interstellar space for millennia, waiting, watching, listening. And if it isn't artificial, then nature has just shown us something so advanced, so precise, that it imitates design itself. Either way, the conclusion is the same. We don't understand our universe as well as we thought. But the strangest idea of all began circulating, not in journals, not in press releases, but in late-night calls and encrypted emails between researchers. What if this wasn't chance? What if it was meant to be found? Think about it. Billions of years of silence. No clear signals. No obvious visitors. Then suddenly, 3 interstellar objects in just a few years. Right as humanity builds telescopes capable of noticing. Right as AI gives us the ability to sift the noise. Right as we begin reaching for Mars. What if Atlas isn't just passing by? What if it's part of a test? A probe. A cosmic experiment. A message hidden not in words, but in timing. Not saying hello. Just asking, are you ready to notice us? And maybe that's the most terrifying part. That all this time, we thought we were the observers. When in truth, we may have been the observed. The James Webb Space Telescope was designed to look back in time, to the first stars and galaxies. Instead, it may have looked directly at the present, and caught something looking back. An object too precise to dismiss. Too silent to explain. Too timely to be coincidence. We wanted answers. What we found was a mirror, reflecting not just light, but our deepest question. Are we alone? Or have we simply never been advanced enough to see who's already here? Because if nature didn't make this, then someone did.